So the future's unfolding. I'm going to bring up what happened during the elections. I think was really great for us to take a look at ourselves, our reactions, and how we deal with one another, because it is actually the forefront of a very revolutionary change in how we live as a community and how we work together. This is going to be very interesting for you. If you're already doing this, or maybe you find yourself doing this more, we're going to talk about our future communities, humanity's new way of living. I think you're going to love this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fear. I have a membership in the Breakthrough Fear course. It is now open to everybody to access in a way that wasn't available before, because if you don't break through fear, you will live your entire life making decisions based on lower frequency prompts. What does that mean? You're going to see yourself as separate. Other people are going to be threats to you. The world is going to look evil and bad, and you're going to start to focus on those things. You're going to be drawn to the media that's negative because you want to see what's going to happen, because you're handing over your ability to manifest, and you are still manifesting, to other things that are manifesting stuff you don't want. So it's this cycle. All right? So breakthrough fear is important. And also, I have written, it was a channel. When I say channel, I mean we all channel. It's just information when you get out of the way. This is my book. It may bring great comfort to you when you realize we're so much bigger. And what is that? And what is happening here? Because I talk about the tipping point. We've gone into it. We are well past the tipping point. And now what happens? Woo-wee! Hold on, because when this thing goes, it's flowing out and, craziness. But not craziness in a bad way. I hope you'll subscribe and support my peaceful messages, because I'm choosing a peaceful reality. It's just a choice. We all have free will. It's not what's going on. It's what I choose to create in my world. We're still a collective. I want to talk about that. So after the elections, of course, there's, it was pretty doggone close, really. I mean, there's a whole group of people who are upset. There's a whole group of people that are celebrating. And so it's sort of ironic, I mean, if you think about it, that we're still allowing this many people to decide for everyone. I don't agree with that. Now, you might disagree with me, and that's cool. We're not here to convince each other. We're here to express our own individual choices. As long as they're peaceful, be nice out there, and we look after, let's just say, the highest, best choices for others and ourselves, then we will live in a peaceful, congruent, society, a community that works together. That's actually what's going to start happening. Why? Because, and this might make perfect sense, when you have all these people and you have two parties and one's going to get in, and unless you got everybody voting for the one person, there's going to be a lot of people that so disagree with what the other party is doing, because they're so opposed to one another most of the time. So, and that hasn't changed in God knows how long since we've been voting here. So here's what we're going to start doing, and have already started doing. We realize that our individual identity is so important to us, and that I don't want to be told what to do or how things are going to operate. I want to live in a society where, as long as, again, I'm in peace and giving, that I'm allowed to express my individual thoughts or actions or whatever I want to do. So in order to do that, we cannot be one mass that opposes one another. We have to work in celebration of our individual choices and who we are, what we look like, what we believe, all that other good stuff. So we're breaking up more and more into smaller communities that are like-minded. Now the communities then will contribute to one another. Instead of the masses, they won and they lost, you know, I mean, it's just insane because that doesn't control you. You can still live an absolutely perfect life even if you can't stand who's in office. If you love who's in office, they don't control you either, right? So we still have to focus on this. What am I contributing to out there? Because I'm actually making decisions through every choice I make. Now, if I want to be in a community of artists and we focus on that, and there's another community of, you know, workers or whatever, then we can start to exchange, and we're going to need one another, right? We need one another. When you have mass decisions, you all have to function and take care of the masses, and it's going to be a certain way, you know, decided by whoever was, you know, put in power, or whatever group. When you have small communities, you can function. Let's say one community wants to be vegan. They can be vegan without criticism, all right? And, you know, they don't have to participate over here with carnivores who are very happy being carnivores. And so maybe we say, okay, well, we need some vegetables. We're not good at that. And we might say, well, what do you guys have to offer? You know, maybe they have certain skills or goods. And so we have an exchange that suits what our choices are in these communities. And you're going to see that more and more. It's going to take a while to actually break into that. So it is a celebration of unity, but allows the individual expression, which is what we came here to do. What's it like to be an individual, a separate entity from everybody else, appearing to be, when we're really not? But when we help the other factions of ourselves, the other expressions of myself, which is you and I, then we are actually coming into unity. We're allowing the expressions, but we're taking it up a level so that it works together well. Instead of this mass, this is how things are for everybody, that's not individual choice. It really isn't. It's sort of like, okay, I lost. You know, and that's why we have conflict in countries. This is how it should be, and I own land, and there's this separation of right and wrong. And you can still believe in right and wrong, and that's your choice. However, the bottom line is that whatever you believe is not right for everyone. It's not best for everyone. It can't possibly be, because the whole purpose of humanity is to be this amazing, diverse expression of energy. And we are not celebrating that, and it's time to. So now we're going to go into 2025. It's going to be interesting as heck, but here's what's going to happen, and you're going to feel it. Maybe you're feeling at peace. Let's say you didn't like who went into office. If you watched my last video, you might go into real peace saying, wait a second, it's not about that. If I don't like that, that's irrelevant. Wow, can I hand over? Can I hand over that? Because it's not the be-all, end-all of how I live my life. And I'm allowed to make those choices. So what am I going to do? Wow, it's over with. I can just relax and focus on this and realize all of that is just this constant, conflict with egos wanting their way as opposed to working together. Right? So now it's time to work together. No matter who's calling the shots, it's always going to be opportunity for you to create, to expand, to express yourself, to celebrate others. Nothing stops you from doing that. All right? And even the economy and all these other things that you think, oh, they're going to do this and that. No, we can take care of ourselves. And so these communities will make sure of that. Now, if you guys are in my list here, this is the free inspiration for Landria.com. I work with guys. I'm an affiliate for a group out of Canada, and they're actually creating entire communities, showing people how to purchase land even if they have no money, and create entire communities of whatever they want. Maybe it's just their own community, their own family, you know, creating gardens and yurts and events and B&Bs, Airbnbs and stuff to generate income. So we are flourishing in those communities. And so if you want to live a certain way and you get your peeps together, you can live in peace. You don't have to live a certain way over here that somebody else tells you. It's okay to be an individual expression with acceptance of the others. So like I said, then this beautiful exchange starts to happen. Goods and services, because then we have a community that excels in technology, and this one excels in art, and this one excels in goods, foods, and it's beautiful. It's like, oh, then we learn from one another. It's beautiful. And you might be saying, dear God, girl, what planet do you live on? And I live on planet Earth. I came here to help guide us toward this new reality. Is it thinking big? We're not limited. If you think it's too big, then you just limited yourself. If you contribute toward that world, you'll live in it. So what do you need to do right now to batten down the hatches? Because it's going to be necessary, and you'll get through this, and it's going to be exciting. And so this makes life exciting when we have challenges. If we sat around, we'd be bored and depressed. You know, I know some very wealthy people that are extremely depressed. They've never been challenged. They've never had to go after anything. Things were handed to them, and they never got out of it because they never were challenged. And this is why Buddha left his kingdom that was handed him, and he went out into the world and became just a regular person walking around and experienced all of that. He wanted to understand it, and he was challenged. And then he went into enlightenment because he let go of all of it. He didn't have to know anything about it. Just know that it's not who we are, but we get to experience it. Can you celebrate the opportunities that are being handed to you, challenges? Can you step back and say, this isn't bad, stop struggling with it? Can you step back and say, what do I get to do with this? Maybe, like my friend out there, I lost my $102,000 a year job, and he's thankful, and then he went to get another one similar, didn't get that, because the universe is saying that's not where you're supposed to be. You're going to find yourself being guided to some big changes. I told you guys I had no intention of moving, and all of a sudden, yes, I'm going to have to move. That was my choice, along with, some circumstances that said it's probably time for you to find something different. And with the information you're going to gather with where you are right now, start asking yourself, am I trying to push this and make it work? Or maybe there's something else for me. Maybe I need to let go of that comfort level. I can just make money and sit here. Go into that space. Go into this space. Now, as of this video, tomorrow, I have a Digital Explorers free masterclass, and I tell you the absolute requirements for online success with passion and purpose. That those components have to be in there if you're going to go into that world I'm talking about. Not the world that destroys and brings you anxiety, and you're going, well, dear God, why did I ever choose this? And you feel you can't get out of it. We're ending that. But we have to have choices and options. Not everybody's capable of creating those themselves. That's where people like me come in. I create opportunities for you. Entrepreneurs, come on over. This is a free webinar. You can decide if it's for you or not. But this is a different kind of platform. And it's all about creating what you're offering. And we have to start with that first. Why? Because if you're doing something, it doesn't have meaning, if it's not allowing you purpose, because whatever you give, you're getting great satisfaction and joy in that. Passion is a super high frequency. I created a platform where that is our focus. And if you don't feel it, you're not allowed to go to the next stage and build out that business, which I do with you. So we have to start with that, because when things get rocky, if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to be in agony, right? Most of you are. It's like, struggling. Maybe you never had abundance and you don't know why. You're in patterns. You feel like people have held you back. Nobody's held you back. Change the story. And you guys come over. Breakthrough Fear's open now. It's a membership, a monthly membership. So you'll be, anybody can come over. Well, pretty much anybody can come over and do this. So sign up, and if you need to break through fear, do it. Get the guidance. If you want to start earning in a way that's going to change the planet, do it. You will have more and more options, and come from that space of giving and love, not I have to be right, this is how things are. It's time to let that go. So you're going to watch people saying, it's okay for us to have our things we love. It doesn't mean I'm separating myself. We welcome everyone, but we're going to share too. And you share and I'll share. And wow, this is so cool. Isn't it great to get something from somebody when they go, you know what, I have something really cool and, you know, I think you need it. You know, when I give things, it brings great joy for me to give things to my friends. Really nice things. I'm like, well, sitting in there, I'm not using it. How many things do I need? So I choose the things I love, and then I say, okay, there's some beautiful things, and oh, you need it. One of my friends, just got water damage from our hurricane. I said, do you have any purses? She says, I have a couple. I said, a couple? I got some really good ones here for you. Let me give it to you. Great joy. Right? Great joy. This exchange is so beautiful and it feels so great. Giving is so great. And the circumstances may not always be perfect because we are not in a world that is supposed to be perfect. Perfection is outside of these bodies. We're in a world that is absolutely exploring the contrast of unconditional love. Let's go back into it. Let's create heaven on earth. It's possible. It starts with every thought. By the way, you can create like this, and I'm going to do a video here shortly. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Those of you who are in my list, one of my students, Digital Explorer students, Nikki and I are going to do a master class on connecting to orbs. And so that's December 7th. Put it on your calendar. And she has a 5-step process to show you how to film them, you know, what you need to do in advance. And then she's going to tell her story. And I think you're going to love this because it's only through great, let's say, challenges that we usually go into that space of all power. Eckhart Tolle, Neil Donald Walsh, Buddha, I can name, you know, all these beautifully enlightened people. You know, Eckhart Tolle was homeless for a couple of years. You don't have to do that, but that seems to be a pattern. And that'll take you into space because that's when the ego lets go. We're going to talk more about that because what you feel is a challenge is your greatest opportunity to actually go into a space that is unlimited. So you're actually in a position at those points in your life to just reap the benefits of this power that doesn't judge, it just gives. And so you stop limiting yourself, you give up. You know, the ego stops dictating right and wrong and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden you say, doesn't matter who's in office, doesn't matter, you know, if these people are making, lower decisions. It matters what I do. It matters what I contribute. It matters that I know that we are all perfect, beautiful beings. And that is not a horrible person. That's a light being exploring something really dark for whatever reason they're doing it. But as a collective, we can raise our frequencies to affect them while still not infringing on their free will. I hope this makes sense. This is not tricky stuff, but it's not easy stuff because you don't get out of being the dense human until you leave these bodies, but do your job here. It's going to pay off in this lifetime. All right, so again, Digital Explorers, come on entrepreneurs, come on over. We're creating amazing stuff. It's a self-discovery journey. It's really cool what's happening. People are realizing, wow, I don't have limits. What do I want to create? I've never been in a position to do this. Right? And then we monetize it. We say, okay, we can actually create a business and help people and step away from whatever it is we don't want to do that is destructive. So Breakthrough Fear is, like I said, it's a 5-star. It'll just take you to another place. It changes all the stories that hold you back. It allows you to go into compassion that you never thought was possible. It takes you into a space where things are absolutely perfect in the way they should be. And all of a sudden the world makes sense. It's not easy, but it makes sense. So again, my book, my trainings, I'm going to keep giving you options to go into a world that is unified and beautiful because you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.